Hello everyone. In today's class, we'll be discussing double entry system of accounting. And for double entry system of accounting, it's a system of accounting that tries to measure transaction twice. Okay, it is a bookkeeping system that records transaction twice. Each transaction twice. What does that mean by that? We have a debit entry, we have a credit entry. Okay, so for a debit entry and for a credit entry is what makes the double entry system of accounting. Okay, so we have set of transaction. We have the first transaction for the month of May. So the first one says bought office supplies for cash $100, sold goods or credit to customer for $500. We paid rent for the month, which is $2,500. We received payment from a customer, $1,500, and we purchased equipment on credit, $3,000. So how do we use the system, double system of accounting to record this information? So for the first one, we bought office supplies for cash. So the two accounts involved here is office supply and cash account. And which one are we to debit, which one are we to credit? So for number one, we are to debit, let's say this is office supplies, okay? We have office supplies accounts, okay? So we have this to be debit, we have this to be credit, okay? So we are to debit office supply, okay? So here we have cash to be $100, okay? We have this to be $100, and we credit the corresponding credit with the cash because we are giving out cash of $100. We are paying for it. So for cash accounts, we credit that. So let's say this is cash, okay? So here we have debit, we have credit. So the corresponding credit for to this will be $100. Here we have office supplies, so which is $100, okay? So when we look at this, we are paying out cash, so it's reducing, cash is an asset to us, so it reduces our assets, but office supplies increases, okay, with this value of 100. Okay, so that's first number one. For number two, we sold goods to a customer on credit. So the two accounts involved here, one to debit, the one to credit. So we have to identify the account to debit, the account to credit. We sold goods to a customer for $500 on credit. So that means the customer bought from us on credit. So we have to debit account receivable. Okay, account receivable is an asset to us. There are those people owing us money. So we take care of everyone owing us money in account receivable. And we credit sales accounts. Okay, so for us to sold goods worth $500 to the customer on credit, so we debit this account. Okay, so we say account receivable, and here let's say I have sales account. Sales account, this debit, this credit. Okay, this debit, this credit. So here I have this. So when we look at this, we are to debit account receivable with this amount, $500. So here I have sales, 500, and the corresponding credit will come here, which is account receivable. That is $500. So that's for number two. For number three, we paid rent for the month, okay, for the month of May, $2,500. So the two double entry system, we debit rent account, or we say rent expense, okay, and we credit cash account, or we are paying out the money. So we already have a cash account here, so I can say rent, that is $2,500. Okay, so I have to open a rent expense account. Okay, so here I have the corresponding debit for every debit entry, there must be a corresponding credit entry. So we are paying rent for the month, $500. So here we have the corresponding debits to be 2,500. Okay, so that's for the third transaction. For the fourth transaction, we receive payment from the customer. Okay, so the customer that has been owing us, which is accounts receivable, we receive payment from them. So that means our payment is coming down to our cash account. That is, we debit cash accounts and we credit. The corresponding credit goes to accounts receivable. Receivable. Okay, so we debit cash accounts, we credit accounts receivable. Since we are receiving $1,500 from a customer, so we paying back his debt. So the corresponding debit is coming here. So we say we have here accounts receivable. So be 1,500. Okay, so the corresponding credit comes here. So here we have cash 1,500. So for every debit entry, there must be a corresponding credit entry. Now, number 5, we purchased equipment on credit. We purchased equipment on credit. We are buying from our suppliers. So we have an equipment from them on credit. So we have to debit equipment accounts. Okay, we debit equipment accounts, and we credit accounts payable. So here we can now open two sets of accounts for equipment accounts and for accounts payable. So how do we do that? Let me use this place. So for equipment accounts, I have it to be here, debit, credit, and for accounts payable, I have it to be here. So how will I pass this? And to debit equipment accounts with $3,000. Okay, so here I have accounts payable 3,000, and I'm to credit the corresponding credit comes here. So I'm to credit this account payable with equipment $3,000. So double entry system is telling us it is method of accounting that records transaction both for debit and for credit. So the accounts must pass through debit and credit. So we have debit entry for every transaction. We have credit entry for every transaction. Thank you very much.